Hey man, it's me, Kevin Smith. Are you listening to the right podcast? Because you're supposed to be listening to Three Guys in a Flick. Are you listening to that right now? Then you're in the right place. Enjoy.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The show is about to begin.
Welcome back. You are listening to a special episode of Three Guys in a Flick. This is where we review the good, the bad, and the absurd. Tonight's episode, a look back at the year 2022, Three Guys style. Coming to you from Ken's living room, my name is Don. And to my right, we have our comic book guy, John.
How you doing?
And to my left, we have the professor, Ken.
Hello, everybody.
So tonight we are going to talk about the year 2022. You know, it's our second year as podcasters. This was actually kind of a really big year for us, right? We went to Comic-Con, we got to see Kevin Smith, and we even managed to watch a couple of movies. So
in the theater.
Yeah.
And talk about them.
Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, our very first Zero was given out in 2022, and my very first 5 was given in 2022.
Those are some highlights and some lowlights.
Yes, absolutely.
So in 2022, I believe we have done about 49 episodes. So that's not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. Is there a favorite episode that you have in 2022?
There are a couple that really pop out to me. I think anytime we have a guest, that's always fun. So Pulp Fiction, Booksmart, and Galaxy Quest all kind of pop into my mind. Another one that I really enjoy that still makes me laugh is the Top Gun, the 1986. Because every time you talked, I added the... So I always thought that was pretty fun. What about you? Are there any that pop into your head?
The number one standout for me was Clerks 3. And it's probably biased because we got to go see Kevin Smith. We got to get a picture with him. We got to talk to him behind the scenes. Just the fact of seeing a movie with the director really was a highlight for me this year.
Yeah.
For me, I would have to go with Saving Private Ryan. I completely enjoyed that podcast. I also reveled in Pulp Fiction. I thought that it was a very solid episode, and it was a lot of fun having Danny on for that as well. I also thought doing Top Gun was fun. I thought it was just a plain old fun episode. And every once in a while, if I have the opportunity to suggest to somebody to listen to us, I would probably want to recommend either Pulp Fiction or Top Gun because those are both widely known movies, and I thought they were solid shows.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's funny that you mentioned Pulp Fiction because anybody who comes up to me who's new to listening to our program will immediately tell me that they've listened to Pulp Fiction and it's their favorite one.
Speaking of favorite Pulp Fiction, it was a fucking miracle, and I want you to acknowledge it. And making his first public appearance on our show, this is Danny.
Danny.
I know. Well, do you want... It's Danny, right?
It is pronounced Danny, yes.
Yeah,
that's
you.
correct.
Thank you, fuckface.
But if something starts going wrong with you, Don, if you start coughing or anything, I'm going to stab you in the chest.
Do you got to stab me 3 times? Pretty please. With sugar on top. Clean the fucking car.
I learned this week that you never search for the words nubbin lovin'.
Why would you get...
amputee sex. Foreshadowing.
Your favorite word.
Your favorite word. My favorite word is foreplay. It's okay, Danny. You can laugh.
I don't think there was any foreplay in the basement. Spoiler alert. Do you
So
want
there
to
you
talk about every foot in the movie?
Do
Sure,
you
there's a lot of feet.
you have a foot fetish?
Well, I'm starting to now.
Get the shot.
Get the shot.
Well,
He doesn't
because
care.
I don't.
Our
thank you.
opinions don't matter.
I don't care. Well, none of you fucking answer.
I answer.
Be cool, bitch. Tell that bitch to be cool.
Bitch, be cool. Oh, for fuck's sake. You're starting to sound like this guy.
I was going to say, if you want to borrow my box of tissues later, you're more than welcome.
Well, I'm just going to go home and jerk off, so I could use those probably.
And that's all you going to do.
Let me ask you something. You ever give a foot massage?
Shit, don't talk to me about no foot massage. I'm the foot fucking master. I got my technique down and everything. I don't be tickling or nothing.
Did you give a man a foot massage?
Fuck you. Okay, cool.
Did you want to talk about how everything bad happens when Vincent goes to the bathroom?
I have notes on that as well.
Do you know why he goes to the bathroom?
Because he has heroin shit. He's constipated from the heroin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fun fact.
Wow. I'm fucking blown
The
away
people
by
are
that.
going to
You know
love
what?
that.
Fucking
People are gonna love
podcast
that.
over. Fuck, I don't think it gets any better than that, Daniel. Good job, buddy. All right, 3 hours and 10 minutes. Fuck you, and fuck you. All right, fuck off. Good night. Yeah, 3 hours and 10 minutes. That one was a lot of fun to do. And Danny, if you're listening, thanks for coming on for Pulp Fiction and The Shining. And we look forward to seeing you in 2023.
So we just talked about our favorite podcasts of the year. Is there one this year that you really struggled on, that you felt like you may not have given your best performance?
Ironically enough, for me, I think one of them is Clerks 3. I was on such a adrenaline rush from going to see Kevin Smith, and the fact that we got the plug from him, that was just so fucking awesome. And when it came time to review it, I found myself struggling to remember exactly the sequence of events, how I was feeling at the time, because you're not just sitting at in a theater with just a screen. I mean, you know that Kevin Smith is there, and you're watching it, and he's going to come out and talk about it afterwards. And so I think looking back on it, if I could go back, I think I would have wanted to watch it at least one more time and then reviewed it. So
Ken, you got one?
I have a couple. First and foremost, any live movie that we go see and then we review it is always a bit more of a challenge for me because it is important that I am able to look at the sequence of events, so I am able to articulate if there was something that knocked my socks off or befuddled me, or maybe just presented itself in a hinky manner that it's like, why did they do it like that? It helps for me to have notes that talks about the chronology of the events of the movie, and that's what I prefer to do with my own notes. With a live, or with a theater performance, it is that much more difficult to do that, and then hopefully I am able to embrace and remember those high points or the low points, so I can bring them up during the pod. In particular, there was one episode that I believe, was it Thor, that it was several days before we reviewed it, and it wasn't like the next night or the next day that we reviewed it.
I can't remember, but it's possible.
There is one episode where it was a lengthy amount of time. It was something to the effect of 5 days or something like that. And I was very, very frustrated that I was depending upon my memory from a movie I saw several days ago, that I wanted to be able to articulate how I feel about the movie with having only some fuzzy thoughts about some of the more nuanced parts of the movie.
Yeah.
The other part that the other one in particular is Raiders of the Lost Ark. Raiders of the Lost Ark for me was very disappointing for me because I was so hopeful that I could put my best foot forward to be able to explain how and why the movie is as good as I think it is. And I didn't have the amount of time to do that. And because of that, I was supremely disappointed in several aspects of the movie that I was unable to talk about and explain, as well as just being able to say, yeah, it's really good. You know, that doesn't say why. And it was really frustrating for me to have so many rocks that I left unturned to say, let's talk about this. What did you think about that? And having that out there for my favorite movie is always going to be a little bit of a bittersweet frustration for me.
Yeah.
But it's also something that I can learn to build and to make myself a better representative, to put my best foot forward each time. And, you know, but it was just one of those things where time got away from me and I didn't have enough time to, you know, to put in what I needed to put in to talk about my favorite movie.
Sure. And that's good that you recognize that, because we've had this conversation many times, and Raiders is your favorite movie, but there is also one more that's right next to it, and we haven't got there yet. So now you know. So
That's right.
So
And I have-
positive spin, right, buddy?
Yeah. And I've said to you several times, when it comes time for yours, you know,
Do it right.
do it right.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
you got one shot.
Yeah. What about you there, comic book boy?
Well, as our loyal listeners know, I think, our first 0 of the year, and that was to the movie Say Anything. And where my struggle came out is not so much that I would change my rating, but that I wanted to like the movie. I had heard so much about the movie, and I'm a fan of, 80s rom-coms. There are movies out there that I will go to, Some Kind of Wonderful. Love that movie. But I'd heard so much year after year about Say Anything, and I struggled because I kept trying to find something that I would like about it, something that I could get into, something that would make me want to give it a good rating and give it a good review. And I don't know, maybe it's just this day and age, maybe it's this climate. I just couldn't get into the movie, couldn't find a reason to like it. And like I said, I had to be honest with myself, and unfortunately that led to a 0 rating.
You do what you got to do, and you rate how you're going to rate, and that's just the way it is, right? I mean, sometimes you feel it and sometimes you don't.
And then, of course, Tatiana telling me how wrong I am.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to get into it with you because we've had this discussion at nauseum. Listeners, go ahead and listen to 3 episodes past Say Anything. We're still talking about it, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
And be sure, if you haven't listened to our Say Anything episode, go back and to listen to it for my reasons why I gave it a 0. And if you disagree, let us know.
One of the best parts of this podcast is, I think, the stingers.
Mm-hmm.
And, we've had some doozies that continually make me laugh.
Can I just throw this out in case anybody doesn't realize it, who doesn't listen to our podcast all the way through? Don does a great job of collecting all of our fuck ups, all of our just stumbles. And as our podcast ends, it goes into our stingers. So always be sure to listen beyond the ending of our show.
There's a couple people that were surprised. Stingers? Really? Yeah. Just listen.
Well, then they're missing out on gems like this. Okay, I'm going to need you to shut the fuck up for a second. Okay, thanks. Do you think you could do that?
Why don't you mute me?
I'm going to need you to define special.
Slow.
See?
Did you not get
That's wrong.
Did you not get that impression at all?
No!
Okay, I'm glad we're not recording.
He lures her to... Don't look at me. Don't look me in the fucking eyes, dude. I look at both of you fuckers.
It's the negative. So for that reason, I'm giving it a 2.0.
2.0 from the comic book guy. Wow. That's probably...
One of these days.
See how fast I was on that?
You were right there.
And you were waiting for it.
And John was,
Because I saw it coming a mile away.
For anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about,
Fuck off and listen to earlier podcasts. Stay gold, pony boy. Stay gold. All right, fuck off. Good night. Does anybody remember which podcast that's from?
well, it has to be The Outsiders.
No, it's not. That was a stinger, so we did that at the end. Well, I guess it does make a difference, but no, I'm sorry, it's not The Outsiders. No, you don't.
I got no clue.
You don't remember where you called someone? You thought that someone looked special?
No, I don't. I think that in a lot of these podcasts.
That was the Cape Fear episode. So, we had to sit through that thing, but
Did I call the daughter special?
yes,
Okay.
you said that she was looking kind of special.
Oh.
So,
So, looking back at our movies that we reviewed in 2022, we each had a set of movies that we rated or gave our highest ratings to. Dawn, for you, it was Goodfellas. Ken, you gave 5s to Goodfellas, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Pulp Fiction, and Shawshank Redemption. And for me, I didn't give any 5s this year, but I did give 4.75 fucks to Raiders of the Lost Ark and Shawshank Redemption, and Elf. Those were my 3 highest. Any of those surprise you that you didn't give any higher or?
No, it's a really good question. Sometimes I could go back and forth with Raiders, but I stand pretty firm on the 4.75 with that. I still think that Temple of Doom is a better film.
I still think you're on drugs.
And I can't wait to get into that, my brother.
That's going to be a good one.
So no, I feel pretty solid with that. And Goodfellas, I mean, fuck, come on.
So you'd say that is your top movie of the year, Goodfellas?
Well, yeah, I gave it a 5.
Yeah.
The only 5.
That's the only 5.
What about you, Ken? Any surprises in your top movie choices?
No. Mm-mm. No, those all seem entirely reasonable for me, what I gave.
Mm-hmm. I'd have to agree, too. I mean, for me, Raiders of Lost Ark will always go down as one of my top movies of all time.
Yeah.
And yet you gave it a 4.75.
Yeah.
As I said in the pod, and I'll say it again now, both of you guys, whatever you're on, you need to cut the dose because that movie's a 5.
Oh, Professor. Goodfellas is a 5. And speaking of Goodfellas, we started, I think it was with the Goodfellas pod, we started with the quotes, right? And so we started with the openings. So we do a quote and we open the show. And the reason why I mentioned Goodfellas is because I was listening to it. And it starts with the quote and it goes into the song from the movie. And it's just a feel-good, for me, it feels good and I can't wait to get into that episode. I went through all the openings and I picked one that I think is by far the best one we've done. And I mentioned Goodfellas because it's the honorable mention.
You're talking about a podcast intro.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Continue.
Here it is.
The space goes down, down, baby, down, down the roller coaster.
Sweet, sweet baby, sweet, sweet, don't let me go. Shimmy, shimmy, Cocoa Pop, shimmy, shimmy, rock. Shimmy, shimmy, Cocoa Pop, shimmy, shimmy, rock. I met a girlfriend, a Triscuit. She said a Triscuit, a biscuit. Ice cream, soda pop, vanilla on the top. Ooh, Shalina, walking down the street 10 times a week. I met it, I said it, I stole my mama's credit. I'm cool, I'm hot, sake in the stomach 3 more times.
That was way better.
So
Without a doubt, that's my favorite one as well.
absolutely, that's a lot of fun, right?
And who was our guest on that one?
That was Katie.
Katie did a fantastic job. Now, how many times did we have to record that one?
Oh, geez.
Probably 4 or 5.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we had to print out the lyrics and everything. It was quite the spectacle. And Big was a lot of fun because you came up with the whole murder theory, which
Oh my
drove
gosh.
me up the fucking wall. And
Which the video is posted online.
I know, I saw that.
Okay, but that's a little bit of apophenia. Do you know what apophenia is? It's apophenia is this. It is the human brain where it's trying to make sense out of something that is not necessarily there. You're trying to connect the dots from something that is random. And we have this happen also, for example, with pareidolia. Pareidolia is the effect where you look up at the sky and you look at the clouds and that looks like a bus going over a cliff with a bunch of children screaming. Oh, look at this potato chip. It's the face of Jesus. They are not real. They are not there. It is the brain trying to make sense. Apophenia is people trying to make sense when there is nothing there. For example, conspiracy theories. And that is a classic example of apophenia. That whole bit about how that there's this whole murder thing going on in Big.
that could be his middle name.
I was thinking that's a great name for a kid.
Apophenia?
Yeah.
That's not bad. Not bad.
Or a dog. Or
Yeah. Did you guys know, speaking of guests, that after Booksmart, we had 5 guests in a row. We had Bellamy, which was awesome. TJ came on and did A Scanner Darkly. That movie was kind of hard to get through as well. I think I remember having to watch that one twice. Thanks for that, Tej. Gerard came on and did Saving Private Ryan. And I think
Shaving Private Ryan?
Shaving Ryan's Privates?
No.
No. And I remember we recorded a long time for that one too. After that, Ronnie came on and did Heat. And then Jill came on and did Red Dawn. And Katie came on and did Big. So, and then actually even after that for the Doctor Strange episode, Elise came on and gave her 2 cents. Yeah. I remember.
I love when we have guests come on, partly because it kind of diverts your attention towards them and a little bit off of me.
Oh, for the cord.
Yeah, what did you think it was for?
Oh, I thought he was trying to get me so I could press all the buttons.
No, what? Fuck, why would I?
I genuinely thought that's what he was doing.
Why would I give control of the board to you?
What does this do? What does this do?
Because I'm always playing with the buttons.
Oh my god!
And I press them really
fuck's sakes.
hard.
For fuck's sakes, it already starts. Well, if you have any kind of rhythm, you should be just fine.
Jewish and a white guy. So the answer is no.
And as far as his underwear, explain the Hulk.
The Hulk always rips his pants.
So he's always nude?
Yeah. He
Always nude.
He
So if I pulled up a picture of the Hulk right now
He's naked.
of his transformation, he would be nude?
The way into the movie.
Hey,
a couple times.
I didn't write this fucking thing, Katie. You're not going to listen to it anyway, so
I
what do you
will.
care?
No, I'll be doing. Does he unplug that?
Yep.
He does? Oh. Sorry.
But see, we don't interrupt the dawn
Sorry.
because now he's got to read it again.
Uh,
Start with, he leaves his presentation.
hey, fucker, don't tell me what to do.
Child, she can now embrace that there is actually magic in the world.
Right, and so Josh, were you seriously just tapping on the
I
microphone?
wanted to see if it would make a noise. Sorry.
I wanted to see if
You
it
just
would
wanted to
make a
piss Dawn
noise.
off, didn't you?
No.
Are you trying not to get invited back? Is that what your goal here is, Katie?
That's going to be my focus every time, is just to
Yeah, you said that already.
really figure that out. I know. I'm saying it to...
Again? You're going to say it to us again? Okay.
So, Professor, I've got a question for you.
Yes.
So if there was a porn name for the movie Big, what would the porn name be?
What would the name be?
What would the porn?
Version of this movie be?
Named?
Yeah.
I think the obvious answer is staring at you right in the face.
Yeah, it does every morning.
All right, fuck off. Good night.
So we just talked about a second ago what movies that we each thought was, or gave our highest ratings to. Looking back at the movies we gave the lowest ratings to for 2022, Dawn, for you, that was A Scanner Darkly at 1 fuck. Ken, you gave 1 fuck to Cape Fear and American Psycho.
Damn right.
And for me, I've already mentioned it earlier, I gave 0 fucks to Say Anything. Any thoughts on that, Don?
No, yeah, Scanner Darkly just didn't do it for me. I don't know how you give American Psycho a 1 fuck, but hey, to each his own. And again, we've talked about it over and over again. I don't know how you give Say Anything a 0, but it is what it is, right?
Well, looking back at all of our ratings, and if you go to our website, you can actually click on a tab basically called ratings and see all of our ratings. And you can notice a pattern, I think. Like for Ken, you notice these, usually the gruesome kind of graphic or murder type style, you tend to give a lower rating to, I've noticed. And for Dawn, well, you just hate everything. So for me, I love most things, but most good movies, but...
Yeah, but your definition of good is sketchy at best. So there you have it.
What if Say Anything was a musical? Would that have made it any better?
0.5.
Well, it's not a fucking 0. So there you go. Is there a movie out there that we have reviewed that you would change your fuck score on? Either raise it or lower it.
And to take it even up a notch, we're going to officially, you only get 1. If you want to make a change, we'll make a change on our ratings.
Well, I will say that I occasionally ponder Wolf of Wall Street. I occasionally ponder that because I gave that like a 1.5 or something like that.
You gave The Wolf of Wall Street 1.5 fucks.
Yeah, so I occasionally ponder that one. And in the end, it comes down to I'm still just looking at moments. I would probably want to watch some moments. It's a long movie. I'm not ready to do the whole thing. And the other one is what you already brought up, American Psycho. Would I increase that? What about, there's got to be a moment. There's got to be something that I want to go back and watch again. And in the end, no. And so I look at the ratings and I feel like, you know what? That kind of sort of works for me. That's kind of sort of where I'm at. And I don't think I have one that I want to change.
Yeah, I probably could have called that. What about you?
You know, I've been going back and forth on two movies that I feel like I should have given a little more attention to. I should have focused in on more of their great qualities. Those two movies I'm looking at are Goodfellas and Raiders of the Lost Ark. And it's funny that you brought up, Professor, earlier that you felt, or that you were surprised that we didn't give higher ratings to Raiders of the Lost Ark. I think we each gave it 4.75.
I think his exact phrasing was, whatever you're on.
You need to cut the dose.
Right.
need to cut the dose. So between those two movies, I am going to raise the score on one of them. I am going to give a 5 to Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Well, there you go. Aren't you happy now, Professor?
I am.
So that moves Raiders of the Lost Ark into tied for the number one spot with The Dark Knight at 4.9 fucks. So there you go. Do you feel a little bit better about that there, Professor?
A modest amount of vindication.
Yes. It's because I just got out of rehab.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's going to happen. That's going to happen.
How about you, Don?
Yes, I was going back and forth between two films, and I decided that
What were those two films?
you can fucking hold on. How about that? How about that noise? All right. And I decided that I wanted to go back and give Thor Love and Thunder and the Batman another look-see. So I went back and I listened to both of my reviews, and I looked at Thor and Love and Thunder, which I have watched more than once. What, fuckface?
Did you watch either one of these movies after contemplating changing your rating?
No. I watched them after we had rated them, and I've seen both films multiple times.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's in my head. I know.
Good enough.
Okay.
Good enough.
Cool. Good question. Good question. And that that tied up in a bow nicely what I was about to get long-winded and saying. So thank you. So what I ultimately decided was way back when I was at a bachelor party for my son, and one of our listeners, Angus, came up and started talking to me, and he gave me such a hard time about how we reviewed the Batman, specifically me. So I went back and I took what he said to heart, and I listened to the review, and after watching it a couple times, I think I was a little unfair to Robert Pattinson and company. Because if I look at it, yes, I still think it's a little bit too long, but the story is compelling. I really enjoyed the characters, and the more and more I watched Pattinson, it was clear that he was just Batman. The Bruce Wayne character has not been established yet. So I'm eager to see what he brings to that moving forward if DC decides to move forward with this version of Batman. So I initially gave the Batman 3 fucks. I am now going to give the Batman 4 fucks.
Holy shiitakes.
Which gives it an average of, guess what? 4 fucks. So there you go.
That puts us all on the same page for that movie.
Yeah. The more and more I watched it, the more and more I liked it. And same with Thor. I really enjoyed Thor, but I gave a Thor 4.25 fucks, and that's pretty solid because, yeah, I think so. I have a couple of fun little tidbits. Did you know that it was after the Goodfellas pod that we started coming to you from different locations in 2022?
We've done a lot of traveling this year.
Yeah, absolutely. We should get some freaker fucking flyer miles.
No, but I will say that it hurts just a little bit each time, and it hasn't happened a lot, but each time I happen to stumble into or fire up Die Hard and I don't hear Nakatomi Tower, it hurts. It hurts.
You know what hurts for me?
What hurts for you, bud?
That we did a broadcast from that.
A broadcast?
Well, the broad. Which broad?
There were women in it. But we did a broadcast.
Bob?
Anyway, we did an episode from the maze in The Shining. And then you guys left me there. It took me like a week to find my way out of there.
I know. Well, it is what it is, but I make no apologies. Hey, speaking of The Shining, I know he's on his phone, and that's fucking fine. 99% of the time, he's not paying attention. But that's not the point. The point is, raises his hand.
He's not even supposed to be here today. We'll get to that point that I think is the true turning point.
And it very well could be, that's just where I saw it and that's what I felt. And since I'm never wrong, you can go fuck yourself. Did you have something to say? You look like
There's
you
a
did.
second half to that saying that all play and no work makes Jack a mere toy.
Does it ever tell us that?
It does not.
So how did you know that?
He just made it up.
I did some research. It goes back to an Irish poet. They added the additional part.
Was it in the movie?
No.
Then I don't fucking care. Okay, how about that?
Was he not a mere toy of the hotel?
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to my world.
All right, fuck off. Good night. So that was another fun one, Shining, with Danny. So
we had Danny on twice this year.
yeah, okay. So this year we've had multiple two-timers. Gerard,
We might actually have to start paying them.
Danny. We also had
Well, when did we do Galaxy Quest? Did we do that this year?
yeah, it was
Because we did
on-
Galaxy Quest and Red Dawn, and Jill was twice.
Oh, okay. So yeah.
Plus, we have a lot of people who we want to come on to this show. So, like Ron Vega, we've talked to him about coming on this show from Wrath of Iothans.
Yeah, absolutely. He more than welcome. The invitation is there. And so we talked about the best opening with Katie and the honorable mention from Goodfellas, but we also had a couple of really good closings. We would say, I'm Don, I'm John, have a good night. But two really stood out to me. And the first one was from our Mallrats podcast. Our Three Guys in a Flick. I'm Don.
I'm John.
I'm Ken.
And I'm Zach. Adventure, excitement, a Jedi craves not these things.
Because I just love the writing,
Mhm.
right? And when, who is it? Oh, Brody. Brody gives the line. It's so good. But another one that popped out to me that I thought, was a lot of fun was Flick. I'm Don.
I'm John.
And I'm Ken. And if you'd like to be a contestant on The Running Man, send a self-addressed stamped envelope to ICS Talent Hunt, care of your local affiliate, and then go out and do something really despicable. I'm Ken, and have a good night and take care.
So, obviously, we have 2023 coming up. Is there a movie out there that's already been released that you kind of want someone to put into the helmet? Because we've got a bunch of great movies coming up. What you said, like a half a year's worth of movies?
Yeah, we went and we looked into the Bronco helmet. And if you were listening to this episode, I can confidently say we are caught up. So we now know everything that has been submitted. And it looks like there's like 31 submissions.
31 submissions, with not including like 20 that we've already done from listener submissions. Well, now here is each of our chances to appeal to our listening audience to have them submit one of the movies that we would like to review. So, Don, do you have a movie that you'd like someone to submit? Ken, do you have a movie that you'd like to see us review this year?
I just have one that comes to mind, but it doesn't have to be anytime soon. I would like to review The Hunt for Red October.
That is a
So
good one.
listeners, please submit for the professor, The Hunt for Red October.
Please.
What about you?
Well, for me, it's just I really, really, really want to celebrate Rex Manning Day.
So listeners, please submit Empire Records for the comic book guy. That's a great choice.
Yeah,
I
I think it'll be such a fun one to review, and it'd be interesting to get all of your takes on it.
Absolutely. Okay, so for me, I think that if someone was going to submit a movie for me, go ahead and throw Rocky in the helmet, and we'll see what comes of that. So,
No, you're talking the first one?
You said Rocky.
if it was Rocky 2, I would have said Rocky 2. If it was Rocky
Rocky
3,
or Rocky
I would have
Balboa.
said Rocky 3.
Well, that's what's on Rocky
If
Balboa.
it was Rocky 4, I would have said Rocky 4. If it was Rocky 5, I would have never said it. And if it was Rocky Balboa, I would have said Rocky Balboa.
Okay, just double check.
And that's what you get here on Three Guys in a Flick.
So, listeners, if you care about Don, be sure to submit Rocky 5.
Oh, for fuck's sakes.
That's what I'm talking about.
Hey, speaking of for fuck's sakes, this year, the comic book guy over here threw down a challenge. And he said that he could correlate every movie we reviewed with The Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
And so, Professor, I was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody say Lord
No.
of the Rings.
Let me
Shut up.
let me stop you right there.
Stop.
Let me stop you right there.
Stop.
Is there a precious moments that stands out for the year 2022?
I can't think of one necessarily.
And I'm not sure I was awake for any of them. So I think if we had to pick one,
The one that got the highest grades?
I think so. It's going to be.
What's your name, Captain? That sharp, quick stops jerseys, man. What's your name?
My name's John.
What is it?
John.
John, give it up for Johnny going next.
First off, I'm part of a podcast, and
Oh, shit.
I'm the shameless plug, 3 Guys in a Flick. Thank you for liking our tweet earlier.
You were like, we're seeing the movie, and then we're going to talk about it afterwards.
Exactly. We're gonna.
I liked it because I was like, fucking say nice things.
We're gonna go home and review it. But as inspired by Clerks 2, we have a bit in our podcast where we talk about Lord of the Rings and we compare every movie to Lord of the Rings. So my question for you, since I know you're gonna love this,
Yes.
Who would you say is your Frodo, Sam, Aragorn, and Gandalf of Clerks 3?
Well, that's presupposing I've seen those movies. You're gonna have to help me out. Some of the names I'm familiar with, others of them, I don't know who the fuck that is. Let's do the first one. You said, who is it?
Frodo.
Frodo. So Frodo is Elijah Wood. That's how I think of him. Wasn't Frodo. Elijah Wood went on that adventure. The Ring Bearer. Who's my Elijah Wood? Definitely Brian O'Halloran, I would have to say. The Ring Bearer. Okay, who's the next one?
Sam.
Sam, hands down, that would be Randall, for sure. Don't plug that. Who's the next one?
Aragorn.
Now, who's that?
Strider.
Oh, Viggo Mortensen? Thank you. Speaks my language. Viggo Mortensen, who played, and Viggo was kind of like the Han Solo of that bit.
Yeah. The king.
I don't think I have one of those in my world.
Do you have a wizard? Do you have Gandalf?
No, I guess Affleck would be our fucking Viggo. Like the person that everybody wants to fuck, and he's a pretty good actor as well. Okay, that's Aragorn. Who else?
The wizard Gandalf.
You didn't have to tell me that. I know who Gandalf is. Who's the wizard Gandalf? You're looking at him, motherfucker.
Again, fuck you guys.
Also in 2022, the 3 guys went on a quest. We went on the search for the best 80s action flick out there, and we came up with 10 movies. Do you guys remember which one ultimately won the challenge?
Rambo First Blood Part 2.
Yeah. Did you guys have fun with that whole bit?
Absolutely. It was fun to revisit some of those movies. Some of them were a little tough to get to watch. Lone Wolf McQuade, maybe not the greatest movie out there. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with it, and I still stick by who we picked as the winner.
All right. Well, thinking about the 10 movies, was there a show that you thought was a lot of fun or had a good time on?
Absolutely. Bloodsport was every bit as fun as I remembered watching it. It's just a little guilty pleasure.
For me, RoboCop. I feel like you were singing that Electric Company song.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Was that Electric Company or Sesame Street?
It was on the show called Electric Company, yeah.
That's what I just asked you. Don't roll your eyes at me.
Because I'm the one to say it, not you.
That's why you were flipping them off. I was trying to figure out why you were flipping them off.
Well, I did too, but I was already halfway through my spiel.
But he didn't tell us that that's the line you wanted.
No, he didn't. He didn't communicate. You know why? You quit looking me in the eye. You're making me really uncomfortable here, buddy. Ronnie Cox is good. But, Cox is always good. Right, John?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm sure you don't. Buddy.
That was some low-hanging fruit. He had to steer away from it because he wanted to bite into that apple.
Oh, he likes to bite. Yep. Oh, he likes to bite. RoboChop.
I think there was actually a RoboChop, an infomercial.
And that doesn't surprise me.
No, it was a slap chop.
I think there was a RoboChop too.
I think it was RoboCock.
That's the
what
porn
I think.
name.
That's what I think it was. RoboCock tracks down. You know, I've never done cocaine, but I always imagined that if I was gonna do cocaine, it would have been in between 2 pairs of breasts.
If you want, go get it, and I'll put it on my chest for you.
All right. I was gonna say, Professor, go give me some cocaine. I want to try me some of that cocaine.
Why would I have cocaine?
Because you're the professor. It's in the fucking name. Sorry, listeners. All right, fuck off. Good night. I think looking back at the top 10 action list, I would have fought harder to keep Big Trouble in Little China off of it, because going back and watching it, Jack Burton is just inept. So not really an action star.
You mentioned that you don't think Big Trouble should be on it, but I still feel like that was a good pick, because going into it, if you look at it as, even though Kurt Russell got top billing and Jack Burton is the standout character, he's the sidekick in the movie. The movie really does have a different action star, and it still is an 80s action movie. It kind of brought a lot of that martial arts into the 80s action movies, along with Bloodsport.
I just thought that Kurt Russell, he was probably the most pedestrian of all of our action heroes. He, for the most part, spent a lot of the time on the sidelines, not necessarily dominating his machismo, if you will, in the story arc of things.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is what it is, right? I don't think it belongs on the list, but it is there because we voted on it. And I'm a nice guy. He delivers his load. Thank you, Joe. Thank you for laughing. Wang, 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 wang.
Wang Chung.
Wanger.
Let's Wang Chung tonight. Sorry.
I fucking hate that song.
Well,
if there's any
let's all sing
80s
it.
song that I fucking can't stand, there's two.
tonight.
Every time you go away and
Everybody
Wang Chung.
Wang Chung tonight.
Yeah, keep it up, fuckers. I dare you. You know what? I double dare you.
Semantics.
God damn it. No, I mean, you're right. It's the trailer. The trailer is what he pulls. I'm fucking in the business. I should fucking know this, right? Where were you?
Yeah. That's why
I'm fucking just sitting over here getting my fucking ass handed to me. Sounding like a fucking moron. Where the fuck is the truck driver?
Right there.
Sitting on
saying nothing.
Sitting on the fucking couch sleeping. So don't give me any shit. I don't want to take any of your shit. Okay? I always sound so mean.
No.
Thanks, Joe.
Yes.
You know, I almost did it too.
Yeah, do it.
I almost
Do it.
fucking
Read
did
the
it.
last
Do
part.
it.
Okay, fuckers, I heard you the
it.
first
Do it.
time.
Do it.
Go on.
Oh, for fuck's sakes. And I'm shocked you didn't point this out. It's foreshadowed when he catches the bottle.
You fucker, I was waiting for the end of the podcast. And I was going to say, I think that we actually got through an entire podcast without John talking about foreshadowing.
This is what happens when you communicate to one another. Had you told me that, I would have
Why
kept
would I
it
say
in
that?
the barrel,
No, don't
and I
say
wouldn't
that.
have fucking
If you
shot it
say it, then
over
it's
the
gonna
fucking
happen.
bow because
You don't
I
wanna
knew
say it.
that
You
as soon
should
as I
have
saw
known
it last
because we
night when
are
I
on
was
the same
watching
page
it, I
because
thought
we both
John's
talk
gonna
about
fucking
it.
bring up the foreshadowing
both know
because he
it.
always fucking does.
We always are on page, on point
You
with
guys
each
need
other.
a
I know,
whistle.
but not this time.
Why do daddies
wrestling.
always fight? Ever since Jill mentioned it, this whole entire podcast, all I've been hearing in my head is everybody was kung fu fighting.
Yeah.
Or
Wang Chung
yeah,
tonight.
everybody have fun tonight. Everybody Wang Chung tonight.
My life always has, what was it?
Everybody
Wang Chung tonight.
Everybody have fun tonight.
Everybody Wang Chung tonight.
Everybody Wang Chung. All right, fuck off. Good night. So the moral of that story is no more Wang Chunging.
I thought it was
Okay.
no more singing.
Oh, we can sing all day long. I have no problem with that.
I'm singing.
I'm singing.
There is no singing at the North Pole.
Yes, there is. Out of the Marvel movies that we reviewed, what was the highest? Was it Thor?
For me, it was Love and Thunder. That was probably the best of the Marvel movies that came out. But I don't feel like Marvel had a super strong year.
No, they didn't. And what what one that drove me nuts was fucking Doctor Strange, right?
Yeah.
Have you guys watched it since?
Yes, a couple times.
Do you like it better?
I liked it in the first place. I don't
that's a
think it
good
was
point.
the greatest movie. I still liked the first Doctor Strange more, but I didn't think it was a horrible movie.
Let's just go out and throw this on the record now. Don't get your fucking feelings hurt, okay?
Well, I know it's going to happen. I already figured that out in my little things. So I'm like, do we think Wanda's care or Wanda's alive? I don't know. Who cares?
Now, I'm gonna say I have a better question.
Who cares?
There you go. Yeah, so stay in your lane, bud. You're drifting left, Lebowski. What movie? Anybody?
The Big Lebowski?
No, it would be fucking Endgame. Dude.
Ugh.
Come on.
Oh, okay. I remember that now.
Comic book guy. No, because it was the lovey-dovey stuff. You were still,
No.
coming down from the musical note fight. Have you listened? We've done plenty that are so quick.
That quick?
That quick.
Okay.
I mean, you are known for being quick, so...
That's what she said.
So this is number... Thank you to the professor. This is... Where the fuck are my papers?
There's so many papers.
He uses the eye of Amagado. His third eye opens up in the comic book.
Yeah, and every time the wind blows, my third leg gets all happy, but that's... Who fucking cares?
A lot of big Doctor Strange comic book fans were really happy to see him added to this movie.
Oh, great. I'm happy for the 5 of them.
Wow.
Of the Harry Potter
Oh,
characters.
for fuck's sakes, dude. I'm telling you, I want... Hey, where's my multiverse? Where do I get the variants of you two clowns?
Well, first of all,
that's what I want to know.
You'd be a dick in every universe. Strange was going to be Ash. And I thought that would have been kind of a funny twist on this whole story.
No, it wouldn't have. Yeah, I don't know. But hey, is it just me, or did that pizza ball look fucking delicious?
I actually thought, you know what? We're probably going to get pizza balls now.
Speaking of which, Professor, what is the porn name of this movie?
Doctor Strange and the multiple masturbations.
There you go. I think he just hit
There it is. There it is. Nicely done. All right, fuck off. Good night. Yeah, so.
That still makes me blush.
I know, you're blushing right now. 2022 was also the year of Ukraine, remember? And how when all that went down. And so the 3 guys had this brilliant idea of reviewing the 1984 Red Dawn, which ironically enough, we did Red Dawn, and then I think that kind of sparked our interest into doing the action films too.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. Red Dawn was a lot of fun. Did you guys like that one?
I'm always looking for a good excuse to watch Red Dawn. It's such a fun movie, and it's fun to see so many future big celebrities.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just their, starting out roles.
Yeah.
I still feel meh about Red Dawn. That's just me, though.
Yeah. Jill came on for Red Dawn. I remember that being a fun show.
So tonight we're doing the 2012 version of Red Dawn.
And we get right into it.
Yeah, well, he's now on mute, and he doesn't get his privileges back until I decide. You mean this just wasn't our idea?
What?
Everyone else is watching Red Dawn? Oh, for fuck's sake. Turn off the fucking mics. Let's go home.
Another little piece of trivia. The other actors didn't know how to ride horses. Who taught them to ride the horses?
See, Thomas Howell.
And why?
Because he used to work at a rodeo. Did we cover that in The Outsiders?
I don't think we mentioned the rodeo
No.
on The Outsiders.
Oh, okay. Fuck, I know everything.
Well, did they ride horses in The Outsiders?
They might have
So
to
why
and from
would it
the
have
set.
come
You
up?
never
There's no
fucking know.
reason for
Oh,
it to
I'm
bring
sorry.
up.
Were you
Yes,
fucking
we're riding
there
horses
on the
in The
set
Outsiders,
while they
so
were fucking
therefore
filming
we
The
should be
Outsiders?
talking
I don't
about
think
that.
you were.
He was called Pony Boy.
Along with their friends Robert Morris, Danny. Oh, along with their friends Robert Morris. So he's the only one that gets the last. Danny doesn't get a last name.
You can just leave off all their.
Oh, that's fucking bullshit. Poor Danny. The remaining Wolverines are ambushed by an M124. Fuck you.
So I got a question, Professor. On that poster, that infamous poster you talk about with all the movie porn names, did they happen to have Raw Dog Dawn?
I don't remember.
Okay, just checking.
Raw. What is it?
Raw Dog Dawn.
What's the movie?
Oh, hang on. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Raw.
Like Red
Dog?
Dawn, it would say it's Raw
No.
Dog Dawn.
Did you just make that up?
Maybe.
Oh, no wonder it didn't fucking make any sense.
That was bad.
All right, fuck off. Good night. So, yeah, a lot of fun.
You guys and the porn names. What the heck?
What's wrong with the porn name?
I don't know. You know, it got started innocently enough, and next thing you know, this is what we need to do.
Yeah, it turns into a thing, right?
But how did it get started?
I don't remember.
I remember.
Saving Private Ryan?
No, it got started because you mentioned of either having or seeing a poster, Professor, that had a bunch of different porn names for different movies.
Yeah, it was a poster in college. Is that started on Saving Private Ryan, though?
I think
So is that
so,
where? Yeah.
So I think that's where that story came up, and that's what inspired us. Every time a movie comes out, whether we put it on the podcast or not, we always try to come up with the porn name.
I don't know if inspired is the right word, but I like where your head's at.
All right. So what's the porn name for Three Guys in a Flick?
Three Guys and a Chick. It writes itself, buddy.
I don't know. I don't know if people have ever noticed, but the way that I designed our logo, if you look at it, the L and the I are purposely close together. So it does actually kind of look like Three Guys and a Fuck.
So you're saying that's the name of the porn?
Could be.
Three Guys and a Fuck?
Well, it's because
or
we give
Three
fuck
Guys and a
ratings.
Chick?
So.
Yeah, well, thank you, Captain Obvious. I was just saying the name of the porn.
Yeah.
Perverts.
Yeah, well, don't knock it till you try it. How about that? Another thing that happened in 2022, we kind of, since I was doing all the editing and I would have to go out and find new themes for every week to match the movie, it just seemed like a lot of work.
And not get us sued for
yeah,
using something copyrighted.
Yeah, we did something for Marvel and they kind of had a fit about it, right?
Yeah, they sent us a little notice of, please don't use our music.
Yeah. So this was the year that we launched our theme song. So we had a theme song and various locations added to the show in
Can you
2022.
give a little shout out that our theme song is not from any downloaded site?
No, our theme song is an original composition from my buddy Ick. Years ago, he made it for me, and I've been sitting on it for years, obviously. And so we decided to put it on the podcast. So, yeah, we have our own theme song.
And absolutely love it.
Pretty cool.
Our tagline is the good, the bad, and the absurd. We've watched, obviously, a bunch of movies this year. Is there any ones that stick out to you in that absurd category or as a kind of say a what the fuck kind of movie?
That is a really good question. I have to say that I would probably throw...
You already talked about it.
Scanner Darkly?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was pretty absurd. But Basketball is pretty fucking absurd too, right? Even though it makes me laugh, it's still fucking absurd. Yeah, probably those two. Everything else, well, maybe and Lone Wolf McQuaid. Come on.
Oh, okay. Ken, did you have any that you thought were just kind of out there?
Basketball.
Basketball.
Mm-hmm. You?
While I surprisingly, or at least it surprised me that I would enjoy it, I really liked Snatch. I thought Snatch was a great movie, but I honestly had to watch it with subtitles because I don't know if I understood everything they were saying.
Snatch is one of my favorite movies.
It's such a fun watch.
And who doesn't love Snatch?
May I make a suggestion?
I don't know.
You can sure as hell try.
I don't want to insult the editor.
What, fuckface? Tonight's episode, Snatch. You guys are so immature. All right, so we are talking about Snatch 2000. Snatch 2000.
That sounds like the sequel.
You know, we got so excited talking about some Snatch that we forgot to tell our listeners why we even decided to get some Snatch.
Well, one of our...
Grow up, buddy. Okay, I'm only going to tell you this once.
Do you know you said Bulletooth Tony twice?
Right, because the first time I said it, it was like I was going to say another name,
okay.
But I didn't have the name. I know how to fucking talk, dude. Why do you want to stop me and interrupt me all the time? God damn it, we just had it. No, wait.
If you want to tongue my ass, Gary.
No.
if you want to tongue my ass, Gary.
We're blending.
God damn it, why didn't you stop me sooner? Fuck you guys. I hate you both. Put your fucking phone down and pay attention.
Who took the jam out of your donut?
You did. You did. You took the jam out of my donut.
If you can find like a shorter one, maybe.
Oh, is that what I can do? Are you trying to tell me how to edit now? Go ahead. Open your fucking mouth again.
Yeah, if you can find a shorter one.
Yeah, you can go ahead and fuck right off, or you can cut this all together yourself. How about that, fuckface?
No,
What, you want to get in on it
You
too?
tell him to sit down and...
Sit down, shut up, you big bald fuck. All right, fuck off, good night. God, I'm mean.
I feel like we need a count of how many times you told me to put my phone down.
Hey, let's try and work on that for 2023. All right, New Year's resolutions for the podcast for 2023.
I think we're perfect.
Well, we're not. You need to put your fucking phone away.
Okay, so mine will be not to pick up my phone as often during the podcast. I'm popular. What can I say?
I don't know. Nothing comes to mind.
I know, me either. I was just the phone thing. Made me.
I think you should, and I think we even said this last year, you should fulfill your father's wishes.
Oh, there's an interesting thought. Donnie.
Yeah. I know, Pop. I know. I get fucking excited about things, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, apparently, according to Don's dad, he says the F word a little too often.
Yeah, well. Okay. So my New Year's resolution for 2023 is not to say fuck as much as I do. How about that?
I think you should come up with a new swear word.
No, absolutely not. But I will try and limit the fucks on the show.
Speaking of fucks, I actually did a tally of just how many fucks that we gave when it comes to rating, because, we give fucks for ratings, how many fucks each of us gave. And I was surprised to see who gave the most and who gave the least. So for Don, his total fucks, and this is not including every time you've said fuck, that would just be too many to count. But for the amount of fucks that he's given for movies, the total is 184. For Ken, his total fucks are 166.5 fucks. And for me, I gave 167.75 fucks.
Wow.
That's a lot of fucks.
So for all of us in 2022, 518.25 fucks.
That's a lot of fucks.
Yes, it is.
All right, so that is going to wrap it up for our year in review. I just want to thank Zach, Ronnie, and Jill for listening. Keep on listening.
Thanks, Zach. Thanks, Ronnie. Thanks, Jill.
And I want to thank everyone else who listens to us, and I want to welcome anyone who has listened to us for the first time. Stick around. We may tickle a funny bone or two, and, a lot of the times we have some good conversation. I do want to say that I have a lot of fun recording this with you two clowns, and I couldn't think of two other guys I'd rather do this with. So thanks for a good 2022, and I can't wait for fucking 2023.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And likewise, I really enjoy doing the show with you two guys as well. It's definitely a high point of my week that we get to sit and talk about movies.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you guys are okay.
Fuck off.
Speaking of being okay, hey, John, where can they find us?
Well, as always, and including into next year, you can find us at our website, threeguysinaFlick.com. You can also find us at any of the social media or any place that hosts podcasts. We're always throwing up a lot of fun information.
All right. So for the last time of 2022, I'm Don.
I'm John.
And I'm Ken. Thanks for listening. Happy New Year.
So what do you guys think?
That was pretty good.
Not bad?
Not bad.
What?
It works.
But it's not great? Is that what you're saying?
He's seeking your approval, John.
I don't know. Three Guys style sound like you're saying doggy style or something.
I 100% am. Is that bothersome to you?
No.
You gave The Wolf of Wall Street.
What the fuck?
I know, dude. I was on the
A-game.
wrong
Bring
fucking
your
machine.
A-game.
Okay.
One quick thought. When this airs, won't it be after Christmas?
Yeah.
Is it okay that he still says? I don't know. What's the Christmas etiquette? Is it still okay to say Merry Christmas after Christmas?
No, you fucking go to jail.
Oh.
You get a fucking ticket, And then they fucking take your birthday away, dude. Fuck, Professor. All right, fuck off. Good night.